Good evening, my friends. We are live. Good evening. Thank you for coming in. We have Dustin, Sean, and returning 2Stan's fishing.
For the second time.
Had to
What's
do
up,
it there.
everybody?
How's everybody doing? Sean, how you been?
I've been doing great. I'm great. I got my Skookle Punch Anglers shirt on tonight. If anyone recognizes this logo, feeling good tonight.
Oh.
What you got, Stan?
I got the Ed Evans
Beep beep.
School River Rats on back there.
The other Skookle River guy.
We got 12 awesome people in here already. We missed you last week, Sean.
Yeah, I missed you guys too. So glad to be back this week. I heard it was
Stan,
a good
we're
tackle
glad to
talk.
have you on the show again.
I did the best I could filling in for you, Sean. I did the best I could.
We had to try to pull him out of his shell. You know, he's a quiet man. A man of
Stan is quiet. He's
so
very quiet.
We did what we could. So why don't you go ahead and get started by saying hi to the chat, Sean, and then we'll start doing a recap of last week.
All right, cool. We're gonna start at the top here. We got Fashizzle. What's up, Fashizzle? Fishing with Jeff Beal. Second person in the chat. What's up, Jeff Beal? Dale Hayslip in the house. What's up? He says, let's go. Let's see. We got Rainin' Catfish. Says, hello, Dustin and everyone. Your little brother gone wild. Says, hi, all. What's happening? Charles Breckenridge. He says, I guess they're running a little late. Oh, look who it is. Goober Time Guide Service. Anybody recognize that guy?
Maybe.
Might have a hat
What's going on, Dan?
What's happening, Dan? Yak Shore Outdoors. What kind of shirt do you have on, Dustin?
I'm turning my body every which way to show it. I don't know. There we go. Going back to our roots. Very first shirt ever got from the community.
Yep. Those are awesome shirts. Let's see. Doug Talley. What's happening, Doug Talley?
Hey, Doug. Big shout out to Doug. If I could, real quick. Thank you, Doug.
Absolutely.
Doug got us hooked up with a motor, so we now have a 15 horsepower that we're going to be tooling around the James River on. So big shout out to Doug. Thank you very much.
Wow, awesome. That's good stuff.
Just a bit stronger than the Justin horsepower.
Oh, there he is. Ed Evans. Fish on Ed Evans. What's up, Ed? We got Southern Wildfin. What's happening? James with Cool Cats Fishing. What's happening, James? Butterflies and Sunshine. Howdy. Pontoon Jody. What's happening? Our first guest that we ever had. Let's see. Shirley T. What's happening, Shirley?
What's up, Shirley?
How you doing, Shirley?
Mr. Rogers says, how's it going, fellows? It's getting cold and windy now. Yes, it is. The temperature has really dropped the past couple of days.
It was cold and snowy here this morning.
Yeah. I think school was canceled this morning. Let's see. I'm not skipping, am I, Dustin? Am I keeping up?
No, you're doing great.
Okay, my internet speed looks good. Fishing Local 252 says, hello, everyone. We got Big Slim 91 in the house.
Big Slim, how you doing?
What's up, Big Slim? We got Donald Long says, hello, Dustin, Sean, 2Stan's, and everybody in chat. Half Century Fishing, what's happening? He says, hello, everyone.
50 cents, how's it going?
50 cents. Let's see. Charles Breckenridge, what's happening? He says, I met Goober Time at Cabela's today. It was an honor meeting Dan. Dan's a good guy. We really enjoy Dan. I blow him up on the text message sometimes. Let's see. Who did I miss? Brian Waldo, what's happening? He says, good evening from Central California. It must be lunchtime out there. Or dinner time.
Stan, Doug Talley said you're very welcome.
Yeah, awesome.
We got cousin Jeff says, "Hey y'all," and I think I got everybody. If I missed somebody, I do apologize, but I think I got everybody so far.
I believe you got everybody. See,
It only took me 9 minutes.
Cool Cats Fishing said, looking forward to fishing against Shirley T. Yeah, Shirley T called him out on his channel yesterday when he was fishing yesterday morning. Shirley T called him out. Is it Roger or is it Tanya's tournament, Stan?
It is well, I guess Tanya's kind of got voted as the official spokesperson.
Okay.
But as far as I know, what's going to happen is it's going to be on I don't know. I think it's going to be on a couple different channels. They added a third day now because there were so many females that wanted to do call outs and be a part of it. So I know I had volunteered. She had asked me at one point about hosting, and I've had a little experience of hosting tournaments, and just a little bit of hosting people fishing like that. So yeah, there's and I believe they added a third day, so I think there is still some extra room. So if anybody's interested in that, you got to get in touch with Tanya Hollis. And for those that don't know what's happening there was the female tournament, and I hate the male female ladies tournament, whatever you want to call it. Avid did something like that, and they had a good time with it. And then somehow one thing led to another, and they started calling out and saying, "Oh, I could beat this," and I could. So it turned into this whole thing. So that's where that happened. But I believe it's going to be on a couple different channels. There's going to be different hosts and different things. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So a lot of the female anglers out there in our community challenged a lot of the male anglers out there in the community, and it's just to show that we're all equal. We can all go out there and catch big fish, and it's to show that that's what catfishing. We're all one big family, and let's go out and have some fun. And I really like the idea.
Absolutely. You got called out by who?
I got called out by Tanya.
Uh-huh. I heard that. Right. That was on the Fields to Water channel the other night.
Yep. And I think I was one of the there was a few of us. Missy called out Brian B really quickly, and there was a few real quick call outs, and there may be more coming. Like you said, Shirley T just called out James Cool Cats there, so there may be even more coming. Who knows? So
yeah, and Pontoon
but it's a lot of fun.
Tanya's overseeing it. All questions need to get to her, Tanya Hollis.
Awesome. What's up, Mr. Duggar Fishing?
She did a great job. She was real nervous about speaking, but she did a great job, I think, the other night on Muskrat Show, on Roger's show the other night on Tuesday.
Muskrats. That's what it was.
She did a really good job with that, and so shout out to Tanya. It's a lot, when you're trying to get that many people together and kind of get things going. There's a lot involved with that. So big shout out to Tanya, and big shout out to everybody involved with it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it hasn't happened yet, James. James says that every time we mention CatCon 3 times in a row, Steve Douglas shows up. So I'm trying to see if that was true. He hasn't shown up yet, but he may. Well, thank you, everybody who came in. Yeah, we started a little late this evening. Panfish Nation had some technical difficulties early in their show. They didn't get started, I think, 20 minutes late, 25 minutes late. And I wanted to try to see if we could get them through the main portion of their show. I think they just did a subscriber, or not a subscriber, but a channel member giveaway. So thank you for everybody that's come over from Panfish Nation. And hopefully we can entertain you tonight with a continuation of last week's show. We had Tackle Talk, which was a suggestion from y'all. And I think it went really well. We got through a lot of stuff, but apparently 2 hours is just not long enough to talk about tackle. So what today's show is, again, upon suggestion of chat last week, was to continue on with the Tackle Talk. So we have invited 2Stan's back.
Talks.
That's right. Two Talk with 2Stan's, who is on our show 2 times. And he was also the second guest.
There you go. And it is 2-2 right now. So happy 2-2 day to everybody out there.
Yeah. And welcome, Carolina Catfish.
Carolina Catfish, how you doing?
And one thing I think we touched about it last week, but one thing that just to add with terminal tackle, and actually all of it, is you want to match your tackle to what you're fishing for. We happen to be blessed here on the James River where there's monster catfish out there. The Tennessee River, Potomac, there's, certain places where there's the blue cats. But there's a lot of other places that aren't. So, your big catfish in the area may be 5 pounds, 10 pounds. It may be bullheads. Just match your tackle to that. If you're using smaller baits and, you're going after big fish that's going to be 5 pounds. Well, you don't want to use the medium heavies and 40-pound test and all that. And, 8-aught or 10-aught circle hooks. Maybe you want 4-aught or 5-aught circle hooks and, things like that. So match your tackle. Just because you hear it here, you kind of match it to what you fish in your waters.
Right. And it's a great point. And to that same point, which you just made, the bait size, I think that's one of the most common misconceptions when it comes to catching the catfish that we go after. Bait size is not, or your hook size is not determined by the size of catfish you're going after. It's determined by the size of bait you'll be using. So, granted, some of the monster catfish, the 80, 90, 100-pound catfish, that lip is a little bigger, so it'd be harder with a smaller hook. However, the hook goes in the corner of the mouth is where it's supposed to be. So, we catch our catfish. All the ones we've caught thus far are on 8-aught circle hooks. I know people that fish the James that will never go anywhere below a 10-aught or a 12-aught. But again, I'd even go down to a 6-aught if we're going to use really, really small pieces of bait for like the winter time. If the fish aren't biting, you want to downsize. I'm okay with that. But I just wanted to get that out there. I know we talked about it last week, but I think it's very important for somebody who is new into the fishing community and seeing everybody using these bigger hooks for bigger fish.
And going along with that, this is why it takes more than 2 hours for Tackle Talk. If you're fishing in an area that has monster fish and you're not catching them, and one of the things could be, if you're in the area that's got big fish, well, big fish tend to eat bigger food, bigger bait. So if you're trying to catch bigger fish and you're using night crawlers and stuff on like a 1-aught hook or a small bait hook, you'll catch catfish, but chances are you're not going to catch a lot of the bigger catfish. So it's Roger Muskrat Adventures is one that said, the way to catch, people were asking, well, how do you catch bigger catfish? Well, the way to do that is you target bigger catfish. You be prepared and you try to catch them. So bigger baits, so that's kind of the other end of it. If there is bigger fish in your waters, then you may not be using big enough baits and big enough hooks, et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of the other side of it. So again, it goes to matching what fish you're going after.
Absolutely.
Good point. Welcome, Lance.
Hey, hello to El Catfish Grande. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
What's up, Grande?
Yeah. Stan, what's the biggest hook that you'll use on the James?
Biggest we've used is a 12-aught. We've used 12-aughts, but there's times where we've actually used the whole, maybe not necessarily, I don't know if we've used the football shad, but we've used,
Right.
10-foot long, the whole shad, and we'll double hook it with 12-aught hooks and have a whole big shad out there. Cause there's no, I say it, there's no sous chef out there slicing up the shad for the fish to eat. So those big fish are used to eating those big 10,
baits,
12 inch, 14 inch, they'll eat them whole. So,
yeah.
and when you have a bait that big, like we were talking about before, you need that big hook to have the point, to have it open, the hook point open. So, yeah, we've used 12-aughts, but usually it's 8-aught or 10-aught hooks.
Yeah, with those 8-aught hooks we use, it's just amazing. Like you'll catch a 2-pound catfish.
Oh, yeah.
You'll catch a catch a 40-pound catfish the same way. It's pretty crazy that it's got such a wide range on those ADOTs.
Yeah, because if you look at the way that catfish are designed, bluegill and stuff have that little bitty mouth, and perch. Bass kind of have the hinged and they can get their mouth, but a lot of other fish don't have that. The mouth like the catfish. Catfish goes from corner to corner straight across, and it can fit. It doesn't. You could put your hand in a 10-pound. It doesn't even need to be really 10 pounds, and you can grip the whole
hand in there.
Yeah, so I think that's the big difference with that and a lot of the other fish is their mouth. They are capable of doing that.
Right. And to kind of demonstrate what we were talking about, that's why we were talking about the bait size or your hook is determined by your bait size, because you want to make sure enough of that hook is exposed. So if you have a big piece of bait on an 8-aught hook that covers that gap, then you're not going to hook up on a fish. I mean, that's the 8-aught. So, I mean, I know a lot of. I mean, I think Stan 3 showed when y'all out with Dan last weekend. Just barely diagonally hooking into the corner, but I mean, you're getting just on the top of that bait. Yeah, because you're leaving all that exposed. If you put the bait up here, I mean, you're covering that entire hook, and it's not going to be able to get in the mouth to set. So,
we got a question from QC Brian. He says, "Good to know. Was wondering how many different sizes I should stock up."
Again, depends on what size bait you're trying to get, or you're trying to use on the size of fish that you want to go after.
Yeah.
But where do you fish, QC Brian? Real quick, while he's doing that, KY Redneck in the house. As always, Super Smurf Eric Fishing saying 22 days till CatCon.
That's right.
And the Golden Whisker Awards.
Today, 2/2, and there's 22 days to CatCon. So
somebody planned that out.
Not that we're counting.
Who's keeping track, right? As we're gonna do every week until CatCon gets here. The voting's already done, so we're just excited that a lot of people we know that we fish with got nominated for Golden Whisker Awards. We got nominated for Best Town, so hopefully we can pull that one out. That would be awesome. That'd be fun. Stan, you got nominated for Best Parody and Best Live Show. So congratulations on that. That's awesome. This Pontoon Jody got nominated. I think Freddie, FOA, Freddie got nominated for a few. So just wanted to say, big shout out to all those nominees and good luck on the results at CatCon for the Golden Whisker Awards.
Yep, congrats. Good luck, everybody.
Miss Melissa, how you doing? Thank you very much for dropping our links in other shows and letting everybody know about this show. We really appreciate that.
What's up, Melissa?
That means a lot. Half Century Catfishing. I think we said hello to you already. I'm just going to scroll back through, make sure we didn't miss anybody. Lance Makuga, Hawaiian Fisherman, said, I'm going to be using some donkey baits this year, 14-inch in smallmouth, largemouth live on my Hawaiian slide rig. Wow.
Oh, sweet.
Missy Kennedy. Sorry, I'm up top. I'm notorious for being behind in chat, so just so you know.
No, you're good. You're good. You're catching up to the one from Brian. I'll let you catch up to it.
All right, Missy Kennedy said 2Stan's going down, and I hate to say that.
Hey, it's all right. It's all right. I can handle it. It's not like I don't exactly have a great track record against the other female anglers out there. So,
well, hello. We got somebody else in our chat.
Hello, this is ...
Hey, welcome in ...
Oh, sorry. Yeah, hubby told me I'm holding it wrong. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, you were TikToking for a minute. Now you're using it.
There you go. People are gonna think you're a TikToker or something.
Yeah. This is not TikTok Nation. You're in YouTube world.
Well, thanks for coming in. ... How was your day?
It was all right. My mom just got back into town, so I was getting her Roku stick all set up. That was a job.
Important. Very important.
Yeah, you gotta have
Understand
cable. You get back in, you need to have some sort of shows to watch.
that. Absolutely. Or you can come on YouTube and watch our show.
Yeah. I should have
There
set
you
her
go.
up.
Stan, I don't know if Stan's ever met Faith before. Have you met Stan?
Off the
Hi,
hook with
Stan.
Faith.
I
Hey, how
hear
are
much
you?
about you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. If it's
she knows
good,
I
it's
spend a
all
lot of
live.
time.
Stan. Dot.
I'm ...
Yeah.
That's my name. The last
That's
show
how you
Sean
doing?
did, it wrote Sean and ... He just totally that's my name. So I'm ...
And I'm 2Stan's, so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Stan.
So here with 2Stan's Fishing, him and his son Stan 3 are part of 2Stan's Fishing.
That's
And
cool.
sometimes you'll see the grandkids out there.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
neat.
Like
Tiny
this,
Smith.
like this past Sunday, this past Stan Day, my granddaughter, Little Smith, Maddie, she was out there with we went on a trip with Dan Goober Time out Goober Time tours right now. What is it? Goober Time Guide Service now, and
There you go.
she caught almost 100 pounds of catfish this past Sunday. So, and some
Yeah.
gar. So she did pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Let's
Cool
see.
stuff.
QC Brian said, good to know. Was wondering, how many different sizes I should stock up. Off the Hook Outdoors say, what's going on, everyone? How you doing? Let's see. There we go. Melissa dropping links. Thank you, Melissa. Cool Cats Fishing. I was fishing with Joe Chat Cats, and he dropped down a 14-inch live skipjack, and I was thinking, yeah, right, like something's going to eat that. And before it even hit the bottom, a big flathead took it. Wow, 14-inch skipjack. That's a big flathead.
And you'd be surprised. It doesn't take. You think, oh, I got this big bait. I got this big live bait on there, and you think, oh, it's only a monster. And you've seen it happen out there where you have a big gizzard shad head and think, oh, this is going to be, and it's like, it's a nice fish. It's a 15, 20 pounder, but they can eat those. They can eat those baits like that the same as a 50, 60, 70, 80 pounder. So,
I mean, there's videos out there of, huge blue cats with a fish almost a third their size in their mouth.
in their mouth, yep.
So it's crazy how much they can put in their mouth.
Hey, we got a question from the chat from Fishing with Jeff Beal. He said, did ... get her fishing license? ... He's got a good memory. That's been 2 weeks ago.
He's got an axe throwing license. I know that much.
Yeah, right now my time's been preoccupied with other licenses. Maybe when it's warmer. So we'll see.
There we go. We'll put her on numbers, Sean.
Take her out in the springtime.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh boy, P&B Pat Fishing. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. Let's see. River Rat 3030 says, good evening, everyone. Let's see. Charles Breckeridge says, I love targeting channel catfish on medium to light tackle under a float. I've never fished with a float yet. I'm sure I will.
Yeah,
I just never have. Now we do use our planer boards as floats sometimes, it seems.
Where'd the planer board go? Oh, we got a fish on. I tell you what, those channel cats can fight. I think Faith was on the boat with us one time when her son Ryan caught a channel cat. I think we were just out of Watkins. Do you remember that? It was a smaller channel cat. They can really fight. We don't catch a lot of them on the James, but man, that's a good fighting fish.
Yeah, they
What
are
you got,
there.
Stan?
These are the floats. This is the Patriot James. This is actually a small one, but this is the Patriot James floats, and it's actually a light up float. It's got a little doohickey here, and you turn it on and it lights up. So then you can use them during the day or at night. And we haven't used them much here, but you can use them similar to a planer board, for floating the baits, dragging the baits behind the boat, where the planer boards, kind of pull it out to the side. And this is the same similar deal, except this is from Muddy River. And this one's got 2 holes up here on the top. And the glow sticks that you get Like you can get them at the Dollar Tree, and you pop that, and it's one stin sticks there, and you put the loop, so that will glow at night too. But they are a lot of fun. I've seen people use them. You can use them like with the clip, so you can float your bait down to, like if we were trying to target some of the structure off to the side, you can cast it out there and let it kind of float down there, and then kind of pull your line off the clip, and it'll drop it right in front of a tree or things like that.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll probably get to using some of these this year.
Nice. Uncle Jeeps in the house, and howdy peoples.
I imagine that's good too if you're trying to target flatheads too, and you're trying to get, like you said, up on the bank and around structure and down trees.
Yeah. Yeah, and it keeps that live bait. Another good thing with the floats, if you look at a flathead, it's got the way that bottom jaw curves up, and they are like a lot of fish. They feed up. So think of them to try to get that bottom jaw down and go down on. It doesn't work as well. So they'll sit down and they come up at it. So for that float to keep that live bait up off the bottom, up into the strike zone of a flathead, that's why you'll see a lot of people that for targeting flatheads, they'll use floats and things like that for flatheads.
Yeah.
Good idea.
I've got such a big interest in trying to figure out how to catch the flatheads, especially like on the upper James and on top of the dam up that way. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's just been my new thing. I've been reading and watching YouTube video after YouTube video on it.
David Smith, welcome in. Thanks for coming in. QC Brian said floats are a great way to work over snags and rocks. Yeah, so there's the place up by Ancaro's Landing in that no wake zone. There's a lot of snags in there. We snagged up almost every 30, 45 seconds. We've got a snag loose. We start dragging again. We snagged up again.
Yeah.
So maybe using some floats back in behind the boats there might help out with that.
And if you think about it, most of your predator fish are structure related. Even blue cats, who primarily use current, they are even, they're predators. So you'll find a lot of them in structure areas. So that stretch right there has a lot of fish in it because it's got that much cover and that much structure in it.
Yeah.
Yes, Yak Shore. That is his wife.
She's with me.
No take back. I threw the receipt out. I can't return them now. 20+ years.
That's awesome.
Almost a quarter of a century.
Shirley T said, everybody have a good night. My phone keeps freezing up. Thanks. All right, Shirley, have a wonderful evening. Thanks for coming in.
Good to see you, Shirley.
We got Rhonda, Fishing for Whiskers in the house, saying howdy, hi, y'all. Quickly saying hi while driving, but I'm here. So, back to our recap. Last week we went over the hooks, the kinds of hooks that we use. Real quick on that, I know we use all circle hooks. Do you use any J hooks, Stan?
Not for catfish. No, I'll use J hooks. The smaller bait holders with night crawlers for like bluegill and white perch and things like that. But for catfish, primarily catfish, if you're going to target a fish for catch and release, you want to be using a circle hook, and whether that be catfish or panfish or anything else, they have circle hooks now just about in every size. So, and the primary reason for circle hooks is for the safety. It's better for the fish, even in saltwater. So if you're primarily searching for fish to do catch and release, you should be using circle hooks, because that's it can get stuck down, but most of the time, 90% of the time, you're going to catch it right in the corner of the mouth. So, but yeah. For catfish, we almost always use circle hooks.
That's what I thought. Hey, Freddie, you spelled Faith's name wrong. It's ... Hey,
is that Freddie?
That is Freddie.
I got my glasses on. Hey, Freddie, check out our latest short. We just made we got an FOA rod announcement. Short.
Is it unstoppable?
No, I think it's you and Dustin and Stan 3 in the background.
No, but what's the music? What music
on this
did
one.
you choose? Huh?
No, it's no music. It's the
no
three of you
music.
talking.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's getting risky now with his videos.
I
No
know.
music.
Wow.
Lots
He
of
is
FOA
stoppable.
chatter on that short.
Yeah. Well, hey, we bring them with us everywhere. Matter of fact.
Faith, Freddie has his own rods.
There we go, right here.
Nice.
These are the youth and yak rods. Show her the butt of that rod, Stan.
Oh.
That's about a third, maybe half the size of the regular. It's easier to get out of the rod holder.
There you go.
Nice.
And it's also, like I have a hard time standing up and standing up. So I fight a lot of fish from sitting down. Well, if you get that longer butt section here, it can get stuck in your coat and stuff. So with having a shorter butt, it's really great for people like myself that maybe have some mobility issues and things, where you can still sit and fight that fish without worrying about all that extra rod. So it's really good.
Yeah, I bet you that's good for women too, just because we don't have as long of arms. Yep,
exactly.
That's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, he came out
My
with
birthday's coming up soon too.
Don't worry.
I'm still not past the ... honey.
And
You might not get a thing.
The other great thing about it is because a lot of the rods that are designed like that, a little bit shorter and stuff, they tend to be more of like I don't want to say a gimmick but they're not designed for with this rod here. It's designed, yes, with different proportions, but it's still got that same toughness. It's still an excellent rod. Where a lot of times when they make shorter rods, they make them really flimsy and it can't handle the same weight and same fish that the bigger rods can, and this one can do it. So that's why we like it so much.
That's awesome.
Wolves Den Outdoors official. Thanks for coming in. How you doing? Let's see. Jeff Beal says, I'm getting yelled at to turn the phone down. I think he lost his beats.
Oh no, that's the worst.
Tell the wife I've been there.
I lost one of my AirPods in the James. I swear a blue cat swimming around with one of my AirPods in. That's why we have such trouble fishing at Dutch Gap. They know we're coming.
Stan switched hats.
Well, I see my good friend Nina out there, so I put on my Nina's kayak crew hat.
There you go.
Because real men wear pink.
QC Brian says he's new at circle hook game, been using J hooks or short Octopus. Yeah, circle hooks I think are definitely the way to go.
Yep,
I do like the circle hooks. Yeah.
So Freddie corrected.
I've never tried the J hook.
You still got it wrong. It's ... You're never gonna live that down, Sean.
No.
I know.
That
nor should he. Nor should he.
I agree. That is unstoppable.
We'll make a short about it. ... Unstoppable.
Yeah.
Hey, Missy wants to join the fun. What do you say? We bring Missy up?
Sure.
The more the merrier. Hold on, Missy. I'll send you the link. Stand by. See, Uncle Jeep said, so if 2Stan's is sitting down all the time, then how in the heck is he rocking the boat like this in frequent? Well,
go ahead, Dustin.
It's not as bad on Snaggin 2, our boat.
Not as bad, but it still happens.
As bad, but it does still happen.
Well, here, Dustin's a pretty good size. Dustin's a pretty good size guy, and I'm about the equivalent of Dustin and Stan 3 added together. So, that kind of tells you how that happens. I don't got to move very much for there to be a little movement in the boat.
We're all big boys. I don't think any of us
Yeah.
are under 6'3", are we?
Nope. See, KY Redneck Outdoors. That took me a while, but I have learned not to try to set the hook when fishing with floats and circle hooks. Look, I mean, people still do it. People will still set the circle hook. I think it's more of an instinct than anything.
Yeah.
You grab that rod, you want to jerk it back. You want to know that you got it. Yak Shore said, I use kale hooks for flatheads and free lining. Allows me to set the hook on flatheads, whereas circle hooks don't always get the job done. If I'm targeting blues, definitely circle hooks. See, that comment right there is a great what's the word I'm looking for? It really shows the differences in, not just people, but species of fish. When you're fishing out there, there's so many different techniques. There's so many different ways you can put your hook on the line, your weight on the line, different lines, different. I mean, there are so many different things that you can do when you're fishing, and it's. I think a lot of people, they catch a big fish on doing it one way, and they stick with that, and they don't ever change.
Once you
not
come up
knowing
with
what you
it,
can do.
I agree.
And I wish I had I don't have my bag up here tonight, which I wish I would have. But for those that don't know what a kale hook is, it's kind of a combination between a J hook and a circle hook. It's kind of shaped like that. It's got a long shank, and then it's got a long shank, and it's got like a deep bend, and it kind of the point is kind of still pointing back towards the shank of the hook, like a circle hook. But it's so it still will have that same kind of effect where if it swallows it, it doesn't get caught in the throat as much. So when you go to set it, it kind of pulls it up and it will get hooked in the mouth. Just by the way, like a J hook is like a J. The point is straight up. It's that's a J hook. There's the eye and there's the point of the hook. It's straight up. But the kale hook is kind of pointed back this way, so it is kind of like a combination between a J hook and a circle hook. So it still does have the safety of the fish, and I'm sure Yak Shore can tell you that it doesn't really. Missy says she loves kale hooks there too.
I had some kale hooks somewhere, but I can't find them now. That's all right. That was a good description.
Charlie Brown hooks are like kale hooks.
Hey, it's on mine. It says, hey guys, we're here spooling reels and tying rigs. All right. Nina's Kayak Crew, how you doing? I know you said you were in here earlier. It says, great for the ladies. We appreciate the love and support. Stan Freddie said you adopted. No need to butter him up. Oh, Freddie says you are adopted. No need to butter him up.
Yeah, we're already family, so.
Oh, you just want to come in here and chat? Okay, I got you, Missy. See, here I am again. I'm back. I'm still behind in chat. All right, that's awesome.
It's hard to keep up with, isn't it?
David said, with this ice storm, we have had 3 days now. It's to work on it. Oh, got you. Uptown Chrissy Brown, how you doing? Thanks for coming in, Chrissy. Hope Ernie's feeling better. I know he's been down and out with his feet. Not feeling all that great. Oh, let's see. Ooh, hello. He just jumped on me. So,
did you see what Uncle Jeep said?
That one?
Yep.
Just pour your entire contents of the tackle box on the floor. That way you can find it quickly with your foot.
And then you wouldn't find it. You'd eventually just step on the hook. Oh, that's
right.
where it is.
The Charles Brecker says, I normally use octopus hooks while fishing slip floats with the rods in my hand. All right. Yeah, like I said, there are so many different techniques and so many different styles of hook and ways to use them. It's amazing to know how many techniques there are out there to be able to hook into a fish.
Yep, yeah. And I suggest you start with If you're just getting into catfishing, you pick one or maybe two basic rigs, maybe like your Carolina or your Carolina and Santee rig, because they're basically the same thing with a float added. And then maybe like a high-low rig with your sinker on the bottom. Start with those two, and you can use those primarily in most situations. And then as you get more into it, you can go into the bumping rigs and the, different things, the drifting rigs and all that other kind of stuff, and change things up. And the more you add, the more you can eventually add to your tackle, to your arsenal. There's certain things that'll work better at certain times than other things, and you kind of go from there. But start simple and stick with it, and find the things that work for you, and then just kind of keep going from there.
Yeah, I love to tie rigs on the kitchen table. Someone catches me doing that sometimes.
Look at that.
I never know the best way to like store them. How do you store your rigs? Like when you tie your rigs up, Stan?
We don't really. There's a bunch of different ways. I've seen like the plastic where you once you tie it up, you can put it in a plastic binder thing, and I've seen some people do it like on the pool noodles. So they would have like a pool noodle like this. You put the hook in and wrap the line around it, and you can store however many of them on one little pool noodle.
Oh, that's a great idea.
You can get the even to do it cheap, you can get the like the loose leaf notebook and the plastic like we used to use in school. You'd slide the piece of paper in it. Well, you can slide your rig in there, and you can have, I don't know, however many of them you can fit in a little binder, and you can get all that at the Dollar Tree. So how much would that be for storage on them? I don't myself. I don't like to do. I don't have a lot of them pre-tied, just because it's so quick to tie them up there. And sometimes, sometimes you may want a longer or shorter leader, and there's just different things. So
just tie them as you need them. Yeah, I like to keep like, I don't know, 4 or 5 just ready, just in case I snap off or whatever.
Yep.
And I just been putting them in like a plastic lunch bag, and then like
lunch bag. Yep, the Ziploc bag. Yep, that works great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that, what some people call the tackle purse.
Yeah,
it's that little it's got a handle on it, it's got cloth on the outside, then you open it up, it's got those little plastic sleeves in it. So I like to use that to hold. I want to share a screen, my other screen real quick. Missy sent me a picture of a kale hook.
There we go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
so you one of those.
You see how that it's really similar. It's like I said, it's kind of a cross between a J hook and a circle hook, because a strict J hook, where that it gets over to the point. See how the point is pointing back toward the shank of the hook, just like the circle hook, where a J hook would be pointing straight up. So it's kind of got the best of both worlds there, and they use that a lot for live bait. But yes, thank you.
Good stuff.
That was awesome.
Let's see. Tell you what, Wolves, then we'll drop the link after 11, and we'll get you to come up if you're still available. And Wolves then said he'll come up here and talk hooks. So we'll let's wait till after 11. We'll get through the kind of the wrap up of our recap. That's gone a little longer than I anticipated, but I love it. I love it. Let me get a couple more people in here. Sharina, keeping it real. Welcome in. I just want to say real quick, congratulations to Sharina. She got her 1K.
All right.
We were pushing for that last week. JBT and her reached out, see if we could drop her link and help with that push. And she was able to get past her 1K. So congratulations to Sharina for that.
Awesome. Good job.
Let's see. Yak Shore said, if you snell a kale hook, it will still catch blues and channels in the corner of the mouth. Fish safety is a priority, but even with the circle hook, sometimes they get swallowed. It is what it is. Right. And to that point too, I've done it before. I know I've caught a nice, I think I caught it was the 46 pounder I caught on Jody's challenge, the one out by myself. And it swallowed the circle hook. So I just cut the line. it'll eventually rust out. We talked about that last week, and the hook will fall out. The one bad thing is the line's still in there in the water, but you try to cut it as close as you can to the hook. Like he said, safety is priority for the fish. So you want to make sure that you don't kill the fish by jerking the hook out of its throat. So let's see. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Lance McCougar said, I let the fish run with the circle hook, but once the line is tight, I was taught growing up in Hawaii to set the hook always. I think as long as you don't set the hook John Parker style, I think it'll be okay. I don't know if you saw that, but do you know who Mr. Parker is? He's a great guy in our community. He goes out with his wife Dana, and he was sitting in the chair, and Dana was talking to chat, and all you see over there was him set the hook in his lawn chair, and he fell all the way back.
So you look back, and all you saw was his legs dangling up in the air.
And Dana's sitting there looking at him.
Video.
She's looking at him, looking at chat. She's like, I have no idea what happened. And he's still on his back, laying there. She's like, I don't know. What happened?
Like a turtle on its back.
Yep.
Exactly. Perfect picture.
It's funny.
That was hilarious. I loved watching that. Charles Breckenridge said it, but if I'm setting the rod down and putting in a rod holder, circle hooks all the way. Absolutely. So when we're out on the boat, we have the 6 rod holders on the back of the boat, so they're always in a rod holder. Unless a lid from one of our totes hits it and knocks it out, and then it's not in a rod holder anymore, it's in the water.
I'm so glad we caught that on video.
Yeah. And
if you got to lose it, at least you got it on video. If you got to lose a rod, at least you got it on video out of it.
Not only that, you got it on camera where the impact of the lid hit the butt of the rod, and you saw the tip of the rod bend.
Yeah.
In the slow-mo. I mean, that was amazing.
I'm just glad it didn't get 2 rods.
But it could have knocked out 2 or 3 of them. You're exactly right. For that lid to pop off, fly back past both y'all, and hit that butt at the right angle to just pop that rod out. Like if it would have came down this way, nothing. But for it to catch it just to the right angle to pop that butt and send that rod flying was just, the odds are probably a 1 in a. You got a probably better chance of winning lotto, and it happened.
And the crazy thing, it took us like 10 minutes to realize, hey, we lost more than just the top of the container. We lost a rod.
Well, that's the thing that I was. You see y'all kind of looking back, and I knew after talking with Dustin that y'all were worried about the lid of the container, not the rod. Like you had no idea the rod was gone, but you saw the lid go.
We're like, we're littering in the river. We got to get this.
I was actually standing up. I was a little bit away from the side, and he was moving down the river, and so the container was to my right up on the little lip, and I saw it fly off because when it flew off, it flew right in front of my face. And then I saw it fly back, and I swear I saw something else, like a rag or something else fly out with it. So that's what I was focused on. I knew the lid was out, and I thought I saw something else fly out, but it must have been the rod that I caught out of the corner of my eye pop out of the rod holder. But I'm like, all right, little side note on that. It had happened to me the night before on Friday night too, when I was in my boat. So it is my fault. It happened 2 days in a row.
You gotta get him like a bungee cord, Stan.
The first time you can say, oops, that was an accident, Dustin. But the second time.
Hey, 2 times, and I was not involved with it at all. So you can't blame the 2 times on me.
I was on the boat both times, yes.
So the second time you were practicing. I think the first time it didn't take the fishing pole out, but that second time you was a ringer. That was it.
I had it down pat.
Good job. Next time it's you, Sean. You're gonna get hit with the lid and you're overboard.
Yeah. And then I'm just gonna go get behind the steering wheel and say, Sean, did you see anything else fly out?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the John Parker off the back of the boat.
That's it.
All you see is Sean laying in the water with his feet dangling out of the water. I'll be like, don't worry, Sean. I'll reel you in. That's what we got to do. We got to get the that square float hooked to one of our fishing poles. So if somebody falls out, we can cast it out to him and then reel him in.
There you go. Oh, goodness.
Oh, Nina said her and Freddie are hard working painting the spooks and making hooks. Absolutely.
That's cool.
Pontoon Jody. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and don't forget, they will have the FOA booth at CatCon. So make sure you come by there and check out the rods, the hooks, the spooks.
We'll get that in just a minute.
And I still haven't found my wood burning. Stand 3 really took that sturgeon wood burning from me. I really can't find it anywhere.
I think I see it in the trees on the bank of that behind you.
There it is, right up there.
Yeah, you got it right there. Pontoon Jody said, I learned something today from Uncle Lou. To catch dinks, I need to use less stiff rods so the circle hook sets better.
Makes
But
sense.
Jody, why do you want to catch dinks?
And that's also a good point. In when the fish are not biting, even the bigger fish are biting kind of gingerly. It's got that tough, soft bite. A more flexible tip on the rod will help you catch more. So if you've got it like straight up in the air, that's why a lot of the rod holders that are at better angle, it has more play in the line. So when it's a light bite, it's easier for them to load that rod up. So that's another you don't want to use with the tough bite going on, the really like a heavy action rod where it's hard to pull that down. When it's that light bite, they'll drop the bait a lot of times before they can load the pole up. So another good point.
I just got messaged from Freddie. He wanted to let us know what they're doing there. They are getting ready.
Oh, nice. Is that the spooks? Oh, look at that.
Hold on. Yeah, that's the blanks.
There you go.
All right. So what are those things? Tell me about them.
Go ahead, Sean.
These are the spooks, and I don't know a whole lot about Freddy's spooks, but I'm assuming they have some sort of a rattle in them, or no?
Is that your bait, or is that going to go on the bottom of your line, the middle of your line?
No, it's going to go in your leader. It's going to go below the hook, and it's going to give color. It's going to give sound, and it kind of attracts the fish. And they float too, right?
Yeah.
Yes, they float your bait off the bottom, so you're less likely to get snagged.
Oh,
They're multi-purposed.
cool. Good colors too.
There we go. Look at that. And they got us on the TV in the background. Look at that.
Is that Nina?
Excellent.
Yep.
That's cool.
He sent us one more picture here. Getting everything ready for
Oh, is that
CatCon.
All packaged up. Nice. I like the colors.
Yeah, we gave away. Freddie donated a pack of spooks last week for our giveaway. That was awesome. So thank you again, Freddie and Nina. We appreciate that. Let's see. Butterfly. I'll see. Jeff Beal took off. He said, "Have a good night," including Pops. I'm not sure who he was
His
talking about.
AirPods.
But
It charges AirPods.
And with the spooks, the other big thing is that it floats it up off bottom like we were talking about before, how most of the fish will feed. It's hard for them to get that, up, especially the big fish, the big blue cat's got that big belly. It's hard for them to, go down. So it's a lot easier to come up and hit the bait up like that. So that spook, since it's got rattles and it floats, it keeps that bait up off the bottom so it's up in the strike zone a little better. That's probably the biggest purpose of it.
so for those of you
Another
that
birthday
came in,
gift.
Yeah.
look, ... says she's not getting you anything.
Nothing.
We're still in the ... house.
Yeah, exactly.
She's shaking her head and we're all like, what? It is. It's a great gift. What?
So, for those of you who
It
have
looks
come
like
in-
a wonderful gift. It's not for my husband. No, I'm just teasing.
For those of you that came in just a little while ago and haven't met Faith, this is Sean's wife. So thank you for coming in, Faith. We really appreciate you joining us on our show tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And for the joke that I don't know if some people saw us last week, Sean put his name down on the bottom of his picture, but he put Sean and ... and Faith happened to be there and talking with him. So she was ... So that is forever going to be
Not cool,
synonymous
Sean.
with Faith.
He accidentally did it.
Well,
Oops.
well, Ryan was going to show up, and then maybe the girls were going to pop in too.
So I'm just going to note the priest conversation had nothing to do with the kids showing up. It was his wife. So again, I don't know what happened, how ... came into it, but yeah, he's not going to live it down.
The official ... now.
Yeah.
All right, real quick before we get to our next segment, because well, you know what? While we're doing that, let me bring up our next.
Lance wanted to know if Freddie has any glow in the dark spooks. Are you aware, Stan?
I don't believe so. He's got some brighter colors, but as far as if he means like the glow in the dark where you put the light on it and it glows underneath, I don't believe so. You never know what could come up though. Same thing like what y'all are doing here. A lot of us listen to the chat, and if that's something that people are asking about, I'm sure that's something that could be looked into.
Right.
So real quick, we always do this around 11 o'clock. So right now, we're going to go ahead and do our sticker giveaway. And then we're going to move right into a new segment that we came up with that I hope will help some of our angler friends, companies in the community. So go ahead and start putting a sticker. For some reason, it doesn't seem like I spelled that right, but I did. Put a sticker in the chat. It just doesn't look right for some reason. Put a sticker in the chat. We'll do a sticker giveaway. We'll let that run for about 5 minutes, and then we'll give away a sticker. We got 3 entries already. That's awesome. Thank you so much. And then while we're waiting on that, we wanted to start something a little bit different. So I'm going to take sticker away, and I'm going to share a different screen. So we're going to have
stickers in.
That's right. Keep putting sticker in there. Sticker. Cat. It's not case
sticker,
sensitive, so
sticker.
just the word sticker. Just the word sticker. Hey,
I say in the
Stampy's in the
country,
house.
sticker.
217 Rebel Outdoors. How you doing?
What's up?
What's going on? I know I'm way behind the chat. We do apologize. Big Slim 91. What's going on? Alana's Catfish Adventures. How you doing? Thanks for coming in.
Alana.
Fish Shizzle. What's up, buddy? What's going on? Thanks for coming in.
Fish Shizzle. I don't know why I have such a hard time saying that name.
I don't either.
Shizzle.
Fish Shizzle is another
That's a
one
cool
of the
name.
nominees for best talent or best new talent or whatever for the Golden Whiskers. So that's awesome.
He catches some nice fish.
Yes, he does. You got Live Scope too. Love Scope, some people call it.
We need one of those. Live scope.
Okay. Yeah, well, yes. Hey, birthday present.
Not you too,
We
Dustin.
need some FOA spooks. We need an FOA rod and a live
I
scope.
gotta go, guys.
Lance, Freddie said, Lance, they're looking into that. They may have to select a few sets at CatCon, select few sets at CatCon, but not sure just yet. They are difficult to do. I think he's talking about the glow in the dark ones. Hey, look at that. I'm caught up in chat. Woohoo. All right.
And the one thing I did notice you forgot is Missy keeps saying Stan is going down. Stan is going down. So
We already said
I
that.
hope so, because if that's the case, that means that Tanya's going to catch some big fish that day. So I hope that happens.
Missy, I'll get to that comment in just a minute. Hold off 1 second. I'm going to bring all that stuff out in just a second, right after this segment. So want one of the things we're thinking of is we wanted to start highlighting some of the businesses in our community. So I came up with the name Friends of the Community, and so these are some of the businesses of the anglers that we fish with. Of course, everybody knows Triple City Anglers, started by Haz. Tidal Weights is by Brad Caudell. Horizon Graphics is Bobcat. He's the one that made our stickers. Of course, everybody knows the infamous Uncle Lou. And then you got Catfish Clothing, Chris from Catfish Clothing. And then we have one we've been talking about a lot lately, and that's Freddie, FOA Customs and Gear. And so one of the things we want to do is we're gonna show at 11 o'clock during our giveaway. We're gonna show all of these wonderful businesses, and we're gonna spotlight one. So the after I move this back down to where it's supposed to be. So this is FOA Customs and Gear's Facebook page. Hold on, let me get that out of the way. They don't currently have a website. They are working on it. And so right now you can, let's see, I had Freddie's email. So it's foacustoms@yahoo.com. Let me go ahead and make a banner for that one, but at yahoo.com.
Faith, are you screenshotting this?
There's something wrong with the reception. I'm not seeing it. I don't know.
So you can reach out to Freddie and Nina on Facebook for their FOA through Messenger, FOA Customs and Gear, or you can reach them at foacustoms.com or yahoo.com, excuse me. And they sell, as he was showing, they sell the rods. They've got spooks. He's really branching out. There are some of the spooks on their face. This is their Facebook page. They got a 7. Oh, they got wood burning. Hold on, Stan. Hold on.
I did find that one.
Hold on. My mouse is going haywire here. Do that again, Stan.
I did find that one. That was from the couples challenge. That was
when your wife caught all the fish.
Yeah. I was part of it. I was part of that. I did catch I caught 2 of the 21 fish.
Of course you did. 2.
But yeah, that's Freddie does the wood burnings too. So that's
cool.
I think that's where he got started. That's what he did with the wood burnings, right? That was the
wood burnings and 3D printings. He had the Freddie cat which was a little flexible catfish thing, and so yeah, that's kind of where it got started.
All right, so cool. FOA Customs has they have their own line of rod. We talked about them a little bit ago. They have the FOA Double Y, which is Yak and Youth rods. They're the 5 foot and the 6 foot. They also have all their spooks that we've been showing you this evening, and they also have 2 types of hooks. The hooks are heat treated and bent by him, so it's a process. And their 4 and 7 inch spooks are hand airbrushed.
I was gonna say there's 2 sizes of spooks. The 7 inch is a really big. It's a really big. So if you're using big baits,
huge,
like in current and stuff, I would recommend getting that bigger spook.
That's cool. And just to clarify, Dustin, you purchase it all from the Facebook page?
You can message him. You can message Freddie through Facebook Messenger. Yep, and let him know what you want. He'll send you the information, the price, and everything. If Freddie's still in chat, if he wants to let us know, I'm not sure what payments.
I saw Nina in there just a minute ago. I don't know if she's still in there or not.
And by the way, Sean, we're going to be at CatCon, so if you want us to pick anything up for you, just let me know ahead of time. I'm more than happy to grab it for you.
Oh, awesome.
Don't tell Faith though. I won't tell her. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'll check his pockets when he comes home. It's hard living with the police officers.
Sean, I got a way around it. So I'll get with Stan, and then I'll bring it to work.
There you go.
Still metal detector. Dog ear those pockets flip out.
Hey, Brian Waldo's in the house. How you doing?
What's up, Brian?
Don't tell ... though, Dustin.
I won't.
All right. Good.
Tom,
Is
how
it
you
time for the
doing?
wheel?
Keith, NWAPA Fishing. NWA, good gracious. NWPA Fishing, how you doing? We have 42 awesome people with us this evening. But no, so one of the things I wanted to do is, like I said, spotlight at least one of these companies every week. So tonight I reached out to Freddie, and I wanted to spotlight Freddie's FOA rods. He will be, Freddie will be at CatCon. So if anybody's going to CatCon, please go to his booth, check them out. You won't be able to miss. My mouse is going haywire. You won't be able to miss them. They'll be wearing these awesome shirts. The Freddie and Nina FOA shirts. Look like bowling shirts, don't they?
They're nice looking. I
Pretty
like
dang cool bowling shirts. I'll add
Yeah.
to
them.
They are
Absolutely.
sharp looking. Very neat.
And then
Love the
Miss Christy
flag.
Brown wanted to send me. This is one of their wood burnings that they did for him.
Wow.
There you go.
So they take a picture that you want, and they'll burn it into the wood, the image of the picture.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, you talk
And,
about an awesome gift. Like if you've got one of those special, I know with LG Bass, his couple of his PBs sent a picture and got turned into the wood burning like that. So it's just something you can have the picture, but to have it like that nostalgic look on the wood burning is just really awesome.
What a neat way to do something too. Yeah, like you said, it's not just a neat frame or something. It's
Right.
in the wood. That's pretty cool.
That's
awesome.
going to last a very long time.
Yeah.
That's nice. Hey, Freddie just put in the chat. He takes PayPal, credit card, Venmo, Cash App, and our favorite, cash. That's
Awesome.
what I'm
Oh,
seeing
we
with
still-
Stan.
Wait, we still use cash in America? What is that? I don't remember.
Yeah, that machine you go to get cash, that lottery machine you go to, you put the numbers in, you're like, oh, what am I getting this time? All right. So just wanted to, like I said, big shout out to FOA Customs and Gear. Why I keep my mouse is over on this screen and all my stuff is over on this screen, and I'm trying to click it close on this screen. That's not how this works.
What, your mouth or the screen?
Well, so there we go. So reach out to Freddie at FOA Customs and Gear LLC. They like I said, Facebook Messenger is the best way to contact them, or their email scrolling across the bottom of the screen at foacustoms@yahoo.com. So thank you for everything you do, Freddie and Nina, and family. And I know it's not easy starting a company, starting a business, and it takes a lot of time and money in that investment. So more power to you. Good luck with everything that you're doing, and thank you for what you do.
And like I said earlier, if you want to see what that FOA rod will do, check out that latest short that we just put out.
And just put out.
Just put out. It's fresh.
Hot off the press.
Well, I am getting messages out the wazoo this evening. Freddie just sent me a couple more he wants me to show. We got some more wood burnings he wants to show that he did. It's like somebody caught a deer and got that. It's kind of hard to see that one.
Wow. That's amazing.
And there's one right there's a couple right there.
Wow.
Yep. So it doesn't necessarily have to be just fishing. It can be, there is other stuff besides fishing, I guess.
One or two things, maybe. One or two. Let's see. Butterflies and Sunshine said, Faith, ... Johnson. I couldn't help myself.
I'm going to check his bags too. Don't worry.
His backpack will be full.
I'll do a thorough search.
Yes.
And I'm sure she's got some people at the office too that are going to search and then report back to her too. So
Yeah.
You know what, Sean, I'm sure you've heard this before, but you could keep it at a friend's house. I'm just holding it for my friend. It's not mine. It's not mine. I'm holding it for a friend.
What is going on here?
Stan's got such good ideas. I like it.
Yeah.
look, that's what we do. We give friends ideas.
Yeah. That's funny.
Brian, Brian Waldo said, "Hey, Dustin and all, y'all lucky we ain't got big kitties in Cali." Yeah, you're right. I will say we are very fortunate for where we live and the waterways that we get to fish. There are some monster fish, and again, monster is dependent on your body of water, but we got some very large blues in the James River, and we are very fortunate that we get the opportunity to try to catch them. But just always remember that what is it you always say, Stan? It's not the what?
It's not the size of the fish, it's the size of the excitement that it brings you.
Yeah, there you
Put
go.
on a shirt. So when I make you your Team Snaggin Whiskers shirt that is coming, by the way, I'm gonna put that on the bottom in quotes on the back.
Oh wow, thank you.
It's funny.
See, crappie day fish on. Ooh, I see a tail.
Hold on. Let's look at this guy.
Hey,
He's just
Ollie,
tired.
what's going on?
Hey,
I'm about to follow him. He is pooped. He was up. It's a snow day for the kids, so they kept him busy all day today. Oh goodness.
Oh, Nina's saying that this right here is her mother's wedding.
Oh wow.
Freddie's mother's wedding.
Yeah, his mother's wedding.
Oh,
There
his
you
mother's
go.
wedding. I'm sorry, Nina. Yeah, his mother's
Freddie's
wedding.
mom.
Yeah, that's awesome though. That's awesome.
That is cool.
Crappie Day Fish on said that was a great short, Sean. Can't wait to bend my FOA rod like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Not only was it an awesome FOA rod, I got to reel it in left-handed.
I
tried
know,
to
I like
hand
the
it off.
conversation.
Yeah, look, I don't know if you got it in the video, but I tried to hand it off like 2 or 3 times to Stan 3, and he wouldn't take it.
Was it
That's
that
the
exact
one.
rod? Yeah.
This one right here.
That's the one.
And I think Stan 3 said something like, "Oh, we're going to teach him how to reel left-handed today."
Yeah.
I tried to hand it to him 2 times. I'm like, "Here, take it." And I turned around like, "Hey, take it. No, it's yours."
We tend to like doing that. Like we just want to be part of the big fish being caught, and that's what we love.
Yeah. And I think Dustin could tell it was a big one right from the get-go too. He's like,
Oh, yeah.
This is a big one."
I don't know if it pulled different because it was on a left-handed reel. It felt bigger than 45. I'll tell you that much. And it looked bigger than 45 when we had it on the surface.
It did. I did. And I think if it was it was just that the head wasn't as wide this way. It was wide this way. It was fat. It had a huge body shape, but it was just it was just really big for its size. And I think if it was a little bit wider this way, like it definitely would have been 60s. It was definitely a monster fish.
It certainly was. All right, so you know what? I almost forgot about the giveaway.
The sticker.
We have 18 awesome people in here. Let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. Anyway, let's see if we get 20 folks. Come on, we get 2 more. Come on, Faith. You don't know anybody that has our sticker, do you?
I don't have any friends. I'm just a ...
All right, for those of you that come in, we're doing a sticker giveaway. We got 18 entries. Go ahead and put sticker in the chat if you haven't done so already.
There you go. Dale Hayslip just put sticker in there.
Oh, you need one more. Come on.
Good to see you, Dale.
One more. Hey, Ron, it's needed up to fish in the morning anyways. There we go. There we go. Crap, we got 20. Let's do it.
Crappy Day Fish on his sticker. There you go. All right.
And
Good to see you, Crappy Day.
2, 1. Let's draw it.
Ooh.
Good luck, everybody. LG Bass. That was funny.
All right.
LG.
Tell mine to LG Bass.
Let's go Lake Gaston.
Same house. All right. Congratulations, Tom. Just we may have your address already, but go ahead and send us an email. Let me change our banner real quick. Go ahead and send us an email.
Well, on a positive note, I'm going to go to bed. So good talking to you all. Sorry to cut out, but I'm following the dog.
Nice to meet you. ...
Thanks, hey, have a
Thanks,
wonderful
Dan.
evening.
Nice to meet you too. All right. Talk to y'all
I'll talk to
later.
you later.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.
See ya.
She's hilarious.
Oh, that was awesome. She's a natural at this. You'd think that she does this every week.
Oh yes, she's she loves it. We'll have to get.
Look, if I could only find the video, one of the very first shorts you put up. Did you put that up as a short? Her throwing the axe.
Yes, that was one of our first shorts. Yep.
Yeah, if you go back and you look through our shorts, you'll find that one of our very first ones is her throwing an axe, saying, "I don't want to talk about fishing."
Sean, I don't want to hear you talk about fishing.
So anyway, back to our tackle talk. So we covered a lot of stuff. We covered last week. We covered the hooks. We covered the snap swivel. We covered the barrel swivel. We covered the. I just so happen to have a snap swivel with me. And these are very highly rated. I think this is a 225-pound rated snap swivel. There we go. And the barrel swivels that we put on are 125-pound rated, I believe. So if you want to catch big fish, be prepared to catch big fish, right?
That's right.
That's right. As Roger
And
says.
have lots of excitement.
That's right.
And one other thing, I can't keep going without talking about these wonderful tools that got added to our arsenal. These were made by the wonderful friend of ours, who I believe is still in chat, Missy Kennedy. I'm trying to get them up. Some of these have some big hooks on them. Stinger hooks. So these are some. These are all on 1/0 hooks. So we've got those. I mean, we got a whole plethora of stinger hooks, stinger jigs. But all different colors, shapes, sizes. Stan's eyes are watering.
My eyes have been bad all night.
Yeah, mine are too.
Some glitter in there.
Dustin, do they know how you tie those on?
Look at that one.
Did y'all talk about that last week?
No,
No.
I didn't. We didn't get to bring up the stinger hooks last week. But with the stinger hooks, all I do is I run extra line when I snell my hook. I run extra line, so it's probably about another 6 inches. And then I do a clinch knot. So I'm trying different lengths. The one problem we had, Stan and I were out. I think it was the first stand day of this year, and that catfish swallowed the stinger hook. So we had to get that out of his gill. But I think that line was just too long. So yeah. I'm still playing with the length, but I'm thinking about maybe 3 inches below the main hook. We have caught 2 fish on nothing but the stinger hook. We've had another one with the leader wrapped around and the stinger hook like kind of caught up by his nose. So we've caught some fish on the stinger hooks. They are working. So what's that?
Yeah. Missy says, "Are you a believer in them, Sean?" Yes, I'm a believer because I've been on the boat when that happened once, and I have definitely seen the videos when I've not been there. So yeah, I'm definitely a believer in them.
See, Doug Talley said, "Don't talk about anything too interesting. I'm going to run to the store and grab a Mountain Dew." One of those. So she made some wonderful. I mean, just the quality, the color that she put in, the time she put into these, the little glitter pieces that are in there.
Yeah. Dustin, do you know if she makes those to catch any other type of fish? Does she use those for like crappie or any other type of fish? Or
Missy, you make jigs, right? Regular jigs. I think this was the first time she was telling me this is the first and only time she's ever made stinger hooks. She ties jigs. So crappie jigs and for bluegill, panfish, stuff like that. But this was the first time she had ever made any stinger hooks.
Gotcha.
So, and like I
And
said, they are working.
I would not be surprised if coming up here real soon, March, April, when the shad run starts and the stripers come up, I wouldn't be surprised if you might even get some big American shad on there, and even some stripers hitting the stinger jigs and stinger hooks.
Oh, I bet.
Sort of like a bycatch situation, but I wouldn't complain about catching a 30-pound striper out of,
Yeah.
Not at all. Those things put up a fight.
Yeah, stripers are fun to catch. We even catch them in the gill net sometimes.
So we've talked about hooks. We talked about the octopus hooks, the circle hooks. We've talked about the kale hooks. We talked about stinger jigs. We talked about snap swivels, barrel swivels, sinker slides, with the beads that we put on. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about, the beads. Let me get one of my fishing rods. This is one of the ones I didn't lose in the James.
This one didn't go swimming.
This one's still with us. You see, I haven't cleaned off this one yet, but woo, there we go. Here we are. So a lot of people, and I've heard this mentioned. Ooh, I got James River dried grass going everywhere.
It does stick on them, doesn't it?
One of the things I hear, or I've seen people do, and it kind of got me going with these two, is they'll use plastic beads, right? So what's the difference between a plastic bead and something else hard hitting that knot, right? So I went with silicone beads. Now, these are a little bigger than I anticipated. Of course, they're blue because that's our color. But one of the things I like about these is it actually, if you look at so this is the top part of this is my main line right here. And so this bead is actually, if you look at it, it's over the top part of the swivel, so it protects the knot. So it's sitting over the top part of that swivel. So I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just I haven't had any issues with it. So it sits over and nothing. I mean, whenever that weight or anything hits this silicone bead, it's not even coming close to hitting that knot because the silicone bead is wrapped around the top part of the top eye of that barrel swivel and the knot. So it's wrapped completely around the knot, kind of in a cocoon. So I don't have to worry about that. And then I put this other one. Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you just run one bead or two beads, or?
I run two. I got this idea from Chunky, and I know sometimes I get a little overzealous when I'm reeling stuff in, and you know I don't want the top of this sinker slide. If I'm reeling it in, I don't want it slamming into my to the top eye of my pole. So that's what that top bead does. That top silicone bead, it protects the eye.
Right.
So I run two. I run one above the sinker slide and one below the sinker slide.
Awesome. Quiet man Curtis in the house. What's happening?
What's going on, Curtis? My chat must have froze. There it goes.
Oh, there it went.
Hey.
Mine was frozen too, so.
Quiet man said, hello, Sean Dustin. The mayor, 2Stan's. Well, thank you, Yak. Appreciate that. We still got 37 awesome people in here. Thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. So we just went over all the stuff that we had talked about last week. One of the things I don't think we discussed much is main line. And then we've got the rod and the reels. And that would be the pretty much the conclusion of the tackle for what we wanted to talk about. So I know pre-show we had the discussion or comment about how braid versus mono is a whole can of worms. And I said, let's open that can of worms. Let's see what Pat thinks about braid versus mono, and then we'll give our opinions on that. and we'll go from there. So, chat, what do you think? What is your preference when it comes to fishing? Do you prefer braid, or do you prefer monofilament? Let us know.
And, yeah, you're talking about like overall, do they prefer, like if you were to anchor fish, or if you're dragging, or just in general?
Just in general, what's your preference? Because I know there's people. Nina said monofilament. Crapidae said mono. Keith said mono. I know there's people that swear by braid. That's all they buy is braid. That's all they put on any of their rods is braid. And I'm sure they have good reason for it. I'm sure they were probably they probably lost confidence in mono for one reason or another, and have never had an issue with braid, or the same issue with braid that they had with mono. It's I not being a seasoned angler, trying to choose my words wisely. Not a seasoned angler. I don't understand, and maybe Stan, you can explain it too. I'm trying to understand what the issue is with line stretch. I know I hear a lot of people talking about mono and line stretch. What is there a problem with that? What is that? Is it just weaken the line, or
the only time that there's over time it can, like if you get it's just like anything else. If you keep stretching a rubber band, eventually that rubber band's going to stretch out more and more, and it's going to become weaker. So eventually that can happen. But the big thing with braid, like they want to get that, let's say you want to get the fish off the bottom, or a lot of people use it for flathead where they want to get it out of the structure, where with mono it has a little more stretch and it takes a little more effort to get it up out of there. With the heavy braid, when you move it, if you move your rod 3 feet, that fish is moving 3 feet. Where with mono, even reeling it in, and you may move it 6 or 7 feet of line in, but it's stretched out, so that fish may only move 2 feet because of the line stretch, depending on how far out it is. So that's the big difference with it.
All right, so we got Doug Talley saying mono as well. Raining Catfish said, "Good night, everyone. Love listening to the post." Thanks, Raining Catfish. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate your support. Hope you have a wonderful evening. Ed makes a great point here. He said, "Well, with me being a flathead fisherman, I fish a lot of structure, so I use mono. Rocks and braid do not get along."
That's true.
Yeah,
cut it.
Anything with abrasion and mono, I think, because I know mono, or not mono, braid. I know that braid has, of course, it's multiple strands, right? Where with mono you can survive a nick in mono. I mean, you're going to want to change it out, but you can survive a nick. I think with my experience with braid, if you nick braid, if you break one of those strands, you're done. I mean, it's just going to cut all the way through, because you weaken the entire the entire structure of the. I can't even think of the word, but you weaken the line when you just nick or break one of those strands on that braid.
And there's no abrasion resistance. So the first sharp rock, or even a tough piece of wood or anything like that can rub that the braid. And like you said, once you pop that first one, it just I myself, but it goes back to confidence. Some people have used it, and because of that no stretch, they're able to get that fish up off the bottom or out of structure, and then they don't have issue with it. I have lost probably the first 2 or 3 really big fish that I had on here on the James. I lost using braid, and it was because it just hit some sort of structure. We have so much rock and debris and wing dams and bridges and this and that and everything else, that there's always something. It's very seldom that you're just on, open flat water with no structure around. So That's why I myself do not like braid. I don't have confidence in it because I've lost too many big fish on it. Whereas, mono, we use 30 pound or 40 pound big game for our main line. And you can pretty much run that along a rock. And like you said, it may nick, but it's held up. I hate to say it, but the big S word fish that we fought for however long was on 30 pound slime line. And that was a 200 plus pound fish. And we did come to some structure. We did find, and it did have stretch, and I'm pretty sure Dan changed the line on the spool after that fight, but it did its job.
Sean, do you have any experience with braid versus mono?
Yeah, actually, I think the first time or two that you and I went out, I had all of my rods set up with braid. And I don't know if you remember or not, we were fishing right in front of Osborne Landing, and I think I broke off like 2 or 3 of my my hooks, and then you ended up setting up I think like a longer leader with mono onto my braid. That way we wasn't breaking off. And from that point on, when I went home, I think I switched everything out and put everything back to mono. So that was a couple years ago, but yeah, that I think one time on the James, I'm like, nope, braid is not going to work here. So
217 Rebel Outdoors said, I just started fishing braid last year and I like it a lot better than mono. I wish I could get him up here to tell us why exactly, but maybe we'll have a show talking about, we'll just have that will be our topic. Why, bring different people up, tell us why they prefer braid or mono over braid or whatever it might be. If that's what chat wants to do.
Definitely, that topic alone could definitely fill a whole show.
I know you see a lot of those guys bumping too with the braid. I don't know. I'm not proficient with bumping, so I don't know what the purpose behind the braid and the bumping, or I guess more line. Or
here's the other with bumping. It's like bumping is like jig fishing for bass, and you need to have contact with the bottom. You want that sinker just bouncing, just bumping off the bottom. So henceforth bumping. And with braid, with no stretch, it really it's really sensitive. So you can, as soon as it ticks the bottom, you can feel it.
Yep.
And so you can and being no line stretch, it's you're able to keep it up off the bottom a lot easier than you can with mono. Now that being said, mono works just fine for it, but braid does seem to work a little better for that type of situation.
Yeah, everybody I've heard talk about bump and say the reason they use braid is so they can feel everything. Because you got to make sure that weight touches the bottom, and then because if your weight's not touching the bottom, then you're not bumping really. So you got if you have enough weight, you got to make sure it hits the bottom before you pop it back up. So Yak Shore says stretch is a problem in a kayak if you're setting the hook. When you set the hook, your kayak pulls toward the fish, which can prevent good hook sets. That makes a lot of sense. It really does. I mean, that's one of the things I hope to get into soon is kayak fishing. I don't have a kayak. I'm looking at maybe getting one. What was that look for, Stan?
I just can't see. I can't see the screen at all.
Oh, okay.
My eyes have been bad tonight. I don't know what it is, but
you did that when I said I was going to get a kayak. You're like,
oh no. That was just a coincidence. Just timing on that one. I'm just trying to read the comment there. That's all.
I got you. QC Brian said some braids have a coating now to help protect it. The Suffix 832 and J braid. Yeah, Doug Talley said all about structural integrity.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
And then of course, there's going to be the old guys like myself that just hate change, and even though it's good, I've been using this for 40 years. I'm going to keep using it.
Yeah, sure said, I will say one workaround for the nicking braid is using a mono shock leader, which is like a 10 or 20 foot section of mono. Then the rest of the spool is braid.
Yeah, I think that would be a solution if we wanted to use that on the James. I mean, you got to have a long stretch of it.
Stale Hayslip said, I switched from braid to mono because of the backlash. I was going to make that comment, and I wanted to wait for somebody else to say something. One of the biggest reasons, and I've only had experience really with braid on the smaller bait rods, right? So I like it for bluegill. I like it for white perch. I liked it. I will put the ED on there, past tense. Because if you cast out something with braid on it and it gets backlashed or rat's nested, that reel is done. I mean, if that thing gets in a knot, you're cutting the entire thing out and you're redoing it. I can't afford to do that. So that's why I just.
That's another, we just said about the affordability. You can buy probably 3 spools of mono for the price of 1 spool of braid. Now, I know braid is coming down a little bit in cost, but it is definitely cheaper to buy mono than it is to buy braid.
All right, so I'm bringing this comment back up, and Dale said I switched from braid to mono because of the backlash. Very next comment, couldn't get it out.
Oh.
So at that point, you just have to cut it. You have to cut all that braid off your spool, and you have to redo it. And it just, for me, it's a waste.
Get your pocket knife out. Yeah.
Yep.
And it will sometimes, braid will overlap itself. And if you have slack in the line when you go to start reeling it, sometimes like that slack will get caught up in there. So then when you go to cast back out, it can be buried into the other braid, and it'll go yank, yank, and you will have issues casting braids sometimes.
And I will say I do have, because I talked to Bobcat and some of the other anglers that do bumping, and when I have the Ocean Tycoon, the Ancient Mariner Ocean Tycoon, it's a low profile reel. I'll show it here shortly. And they said you put braid on it, so I went out and bought 80-pound braid. But every time I cast that thing out, it does exactly that. Like, it'll stick together or it'll get up underneath, and I cast it out and you can hear it. And it's like, and sometimes I throw my bait off because of it. But I've never had that problem with mono. LG Bash said, as a bank fisherman, I prefer mono. Try breaking a snag with 70, 80 yards of braid. You will cut yourself before that line. That's another reason. So those are my 2 main reasons: the backlash or rat's nest. And having to cut your line out just because you can't get a knot out of it. And then if you do get snagged with 80-pound braid, and say the hook's wrapped around something and then back on itself and then dug in, you're not getting it out. You have to cut the line. I mean, you're not going to be able to. I mean, I think it may pull up a tree stump before it comes out.
It'll break the rod.
So I agree. Those are my 2 main reasons I don't use braid. Well, 3. Also, what Stan mentioned is it gets up underneath itself and it jerks as you're casting it out, and I'm not a big fan of that. I mean, I love when it doesn't do it. When we cast Amy Jane, if the line doesn't get wrapped up underneath and it doesn't jerk, that thing is a smooth with that braid on there. Of course, I've never put mono on there, so I don't know. But it is a smooth casting reel.
It's very smooth, yeah.
And it will cast a mile.
Yep, and you can put more line on. There's bigger line capacity with braid, but right. It's one of those give and take situations, I guess, with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know you see a lot of those striper guys. They're always got their reels loaded up with braid, and I think that's what Stan's saying. They need more line, and if you want to get out 200 yards, 300 yards, or whatever, you can't do that with the mono, I guess. But
QC Brian makes a good point. To each their own. If it works, it works, right? If you do whatever works for you and whatever makes you confident in that catching that fish.
That's right.
But to me, I would rather, and again, personal preference, and that's all anything ever is. I would rather, we have the 6,000 series Ancient Mariner reels that hold a certain amount of line. If I want to get more line, instead of switching the braid, I'll go buy the 7,000. It's a bigger spool. It'll hold more mono. So I know it may seem a little counterintuitive spending, $100 and some on a new reel when you can. I don't know how much braid costs.
Lance just put a price in there just now.
$44 for the braid 1,500 yards of 65-pound test.
Reaction tackle braid.
All right.
I'm not familiar with it.
I've heard of it again, but because I don't use braid, I've never used it. I say I don't use braid. Amy Jane has braid on her, our bumping rod. So.
What's up, Mike
Costello? What's going on?
What's happening?
See,
Mike Costello.
217 Rebel Outdoors says, I don't fish with bait casters. I just use spinning rods. Yeah, but I've also had the problem with spinning rods. When you cast out, if you don't close that bail and the line keeps going and it comes off that rod, if it gets wrapped around itself and gets in a knot, you have the same issue. Because I've had that problem with spinning rods and for bait casters. Low profile, non-low profile. Yep. I've had that same issue where it gets all knotted up, and you just have to cut it and redo it. Where every time I've got rats nested with mono, I've been able to undo it. It doesn't matter. Every time. It may take me a while, but every time. And there's sometimes with that knot that you just can't get it undone. Because it
wrapped around the motor and the prop.
I've never had fishing line wrapped around my motor or my prop, but my fishing line has been wrapped around somebody else's prop.
Mine too.
Let's see. Doug Talley said we normally use slime line. We are actually getting close to time. We got 15 minutes left. So while we're at our 15-minute countdown, if like we do every week, go ahead and start putting in chat what you'd like to talk, what you would like us to discuss next week. Give us some topics and ideas, and then Sean and I will get together and whittle it down to what we want over this weekend. You were going to say something, Sean?
I may have. I forgot though. I lost my train of thought.
I saw you go. You opened your mouth and sat up, and then you sat back when I kept talking.
I still want to do a night on flatheads. That's still. I know it's not quite flathead season. Maybe push that off a few more weeks, months, whatever. But
absolutely. I mean, we can get
get our resident experts on the flatheads in here.
Yeah, we can come up with different questions to ask. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
You got 217 likes the braid versus mono topic.
All right, awesome. Yeah, just keep throwing your ideas in chat. We'll keep an eye on them, and then we'll pick one of them. We'll come up with it this weekend, and we'll see if we can get a guest on to talk about whatever the topic may be for next week. Remember, we do this. We're trying to do whatever y'all want us to do. Nina's Kayak Crew said, how about fixing rods versus buying a new one?
That's a good one.
I think Nina might know somebody that knows something about rods. That we maybe would get up here to talk about that. Let's see real quick. So yeah, just throw your ideas in the chat, and we will address them, and then Sean and I will discuss and see what we want to do for next week's show. Doug Talley said, I have braid on my bass fishing rods. I don't even like the zipper sound that it makes.
Yeah, I think all of us old school that was the way you used to do it. Is you just fixed the rod. You didn't buy a new one.
Yeah, and I've tried to fix the tip of the rod some before. I've never had success doing it, but it's probably because I didn't know what I was doing.
There's a lot of tricks. Like you save all your old rods, and if you have a certain section break off, you get another section of rod from an older rod that can fit inside it. So you kind of make a little ferrule, so you slide them together, and
nice
some epoxy. And
so 217 said he's never had that happen, even on his crappie rods. I guess the backlash or the knot issue. Yeah, like I said, it only takes one time, really. If you run into an issue, so say somebody's using, we'll say mono, for instance, and they hook into a huge fish, and that fish shakes its head and the line snaps. That may be enough to push them to say, well, I'm just going to use braid from now on. You know, it's all about.
Tom's got a good one.
I just saw that. Tom's idea said, discuss how guys that use left-handed reels are better fishermen. Hey, I think Tom just called me a better fisherman.
That's right. That's right. You
I
mean
use
like
a left-handed
left-handed reels like
one.
this one right here? Tom uses the Abu 6501s. That's left-handed. The 01 is the left-handed models.
Aha. Fish on Ed Evans said, when fishing from a boat, there is no need to cast 200 yards. Exactly.
That's true.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
Here's another topic that eventually could be talked about. There's a lot of us out there spinning reels versus bait casting reels, and the pros and cons of both of those. Some people are strictly spinning reels, and others are bait caster, and there's a reason. And some people go from some people are both. We have both here, but that's another good topic.
Absolutely.
And how to get the most out of, or how to switch over to a bait casting reel.
Did you see the one from Ed Evans about he wants to know more about portable fish finders?
Well, there you go.
Such as the one Timmy uses on stand day.
Ooh, we can get Timmy up here to talk about that. That would be if he's up this late at night.
Yeah, I like the fact that he had it. That's what I'm looking for. Transmit. Well, anyways, he had it displayed, the fish finder, the deeper. Boy, oh boy, I can't use these technical words. It was on a tablet, I guess. He had it on like a tablet, so it was a much bigger screen so that we could actually see it. So it's pretty cool how you get it to stream back to from that little unit that he had it hooked up to a RC boat, and he was driving it around on his RC boat out in front of where he was fishing.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's actually like being able to, same thing as you doing out in a boat, he could actually from the bank see where the what the depth was and what structure and et cetera, et cetera. So that was pretty cool.
That is cool. I'd like to maybe you could throw the side scan and that sort of stuff in there too. That's group all of that together.
One of those. Well, we could also. Well, actually, what might be a good topic and might be able to fill a whole show is.
Sorry, personal joke. Nina saying F and Zepco.
Real quick, Dale Hayslip, is this a question just for this or a topic you'd like to talk about? You think peg floats with a Versa rattle will work just as good as a spook that rattles? Does color matter?
Color only matters down to a certain depth, because light only penetrates the water down to a certain depth. Now, that being said, it will show up at different depths. Certain colors will show up better than other colors. But yeah, I think the big thing with it is more so it floats your bait up and the rattle makes a noise. So I don't know if the Versa rattle will make as much noise as a spook, but I'd say it's pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I actually felt bad. I didn't say anything while we were out on the water, but when I first got my Triple City Anglers Spooks in, I had two or three rods with the Triple City Anglers Spooks. Matter of fact, that right there. And I think at the time I just had the 3 rods. So 2 of them had the spooks on them, and 1 had our blue peg, the 3-inch peg float with the Versa rattles on it. And I had, I think 3 or 4 weeks in a row, I caught every fish on the peg float with the Versa rattle. Not one fish did I ever catch with that spook in that time period. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it. It's just in my experience, I've I've never had any issue with peg floats or Versa rattles. Now, the one thing I will say is it's more gear you have to put on your line when you're doing it as opposed to, the one spook. But cost-wise, they're probably pretty equivalent if you're buying. And the spooks and the Versa rattles may be a little cheaper. Oh, Lord, does Jody have a... Hold on, Jody. Let me get some other things. Other questions here. Mike Costello said, I caught my first flathead on a bait caster while trying to learn how to use a bait caster. I almost lost the fish. That I can say that the bait caster is a big change. I was nervous the first time I ever used our Ancient Mariners versus the spinning reels. I really was.
Mm-hmm.
But it's once you get the hang of it, there's
nothing like it.
Yeah, I love it. David Smith said, here's a topic for a topic that nobody ever does. Best way to clean up blood and catfish slime out of your boat.
That's a good one. Go
We
straight
may have
to
to
the
do
car
a
wash.
premiere on that one instead of doing a live show. We can do a premiere.
Working
Wax on?
at the car wash.
Wax off.
Wash, baby.
Oh, that's the worst. That is the worst.
All right. Ed Evans said, I have an RC boat that I use for dropping baits off in the water from the bank. I would like to add a depth finder to it. Well, there you go. Yeah, I really, really liked what Tim. Now, I will say my boat was under Dustin Power when he was doing that, so I was rowing my boat, so I didn't get to see any of it. But I'll have to go back and watch that. And I wasn't doing it because my motor was broke down. I was doing it because we were in about 1.5 feet of water, and I have a bigger boat, and my draft's about 16 inches, so we were really close to the bottom, and I didn't want to ruin my prop. So pontoon show.
We were trying to sneak up on some bait too.
That's right. Pontoon Jody said, what shampoo you use to wash the slime out of your hair and which reels curl your hair the best? So hey Jody, if you know of a guest that we can bring up that night, please let me know. Please let us know in an email if you know of a guest that uses reels for curlers, and we will get back to you on that one.
And with that, I would imagine it depends on if you want big wavy curls or tight curls. Like if you want the tight curls, you go with the smaller size reel. If you want the bigger curls, you go with like the 7,000 series.
Yeah, but if you want the ones that like bouncy curls, you gotta go with the
spinning reel.
Spinning reels, yeah. You gotta go with the spinning reel to get those.
Yep, there you go. Because then it's a sideways horizontal curl. Yep.
Jody, when we have that conversation, we're going to need you to demonstrate all of these different kinds. All right, QC Brian said, headed to bed. Night all. Thanks, guys. Hey, you said,
Brian.
Jody said, I will check with Freddy's. All right, well, it is real quick. We didn't get to do this. Couple of things. Want to go through and thank Ancient Mariner Fishing for all the support they've given us over the last couple of years. Sean and I both fish with the Ancient Mariner fishing rods. This is the Challenger rod, 7'6", and then we both fish with the 6,000 series Ancient Mariner bait casters, the blue ones, of course. And then we also have the Ancient Mariner Ocean Tycoon, which is a low-profile reel, and the 7-foot Ancient Mariner Leviathan rod. Captain Spiro has been wonderful over the last couple of years, and we just want to say thank you to Ancient Mariner. And I put Triple City Anglers website up there because you can get Ancient Mariner reels, the 6,000 and the 7,000 series from Triple City Anglers. And I believe I know somebody that has a discount code. Let me see if I think about it. I think it's 2Stan's 10.
That might work.
It might be another one. Is it Jody 10?
That one will work too.
Well, we'll stick with those two. We'll stick with those two.
There's a DSO 10. That'll work. And I think 1 ton 10.
Is it real time 10? Is it real 10 or
real time? Yeah, real 10.
What's Brian's? Brian 10 or is it just?
I don't know what Brian's is. I don't remember.
So anyway, Go check them out, ancientmarinerfishing.com. We love their rods. I know I do, Sean. How you feel about the Ancient Mariner rods?
Oh, they are awesome. Highly recommend them. I've got 3 on my boat right now.
There you go. So go check them out. Triple City Anglers, ancientmarinerfishing.com for the Ancient Mariner gear. Also, we have we were approached by a website called Hook Addict. So the website's down at the bottom of the screen called hookaddict.com. They have a bunch of gear. They have gloves. They have hooks, all sorts of fishing apparel. Use the code TSW15, get 15% off. Excuse me. So yeah, go check them out. And please, again, don't forget FOAcustoms@yahoo.com is Freddie's email for and their Facebook page. Go check them out for the FOA double Y rods, their hooks, and their spooks. And if you're going to CatCon, please stop by their booth, check them out. Freddie and Nina are awesome people. We got to meet them at the Potomac meet and greet. Very kind people, and love that we can call them friends.
And I got a feeling they'll be back up here to the James one day when things get caught up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Speaking of real time, there he is.
Wait, what? Thanks, real time. Appreciate it.
Mention the name and they show up.
CatCon. Or Steve Douglas. All right, well, it is midnight. Anybody else want to have anything they want to say before we get out of here?
Us or chat?
You. Stan, you have anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No, it's a great show. Lots of fun. Sean, can't wait to get you your schedule, so you get some time to get out there on the water with us. Can't wait to get fishing with you again.
Yeah. I'm actually heading home tomorrow, so hope to get back on the water here at some point. Maybe I'll get ... out there with us.
There you go.
But it's about for here the fish are biting, and for a lot of the other countries, especially up north a little bit, very, very soon that weather's changing and you'll be able to get out there and those big fish will be biting. That late winter, early spring can be a great time because they're going to start feeding up when the spring comes. Weather starts warming up a little bit, the water starts warming up. So definitely a great time of the year to get out on the water and get some of your big fish. So, but great show. Thank you for having me as the number 2 guest.
Well, thank you again, Stan, for coming up last week and this week and finishing off our tackle talk. We really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun discussing the different types of tackle, the pros and cons, the preferences versus, why we like one thing versus another. You are always, you're always somebody we like to have on the show because you're very knowledgeable in every topic that we talk about. So we really appreciate that. We will definitely have you up again. That is a no-brainer. But for everybody in chat, if you have any suggestions or any ideas, please shoot us an email at teamsnagginwhiskers@gmail.com. The email is scrolling across the bottom of your screen. Let us know of any topics or ideas that you have. And like I said, Sean and I will go through them and pick a topic for next week and put out our show. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thank you all so much for coming in. We really appreciate your support for our new show. And we look forward to talking to you all next week. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend and a fantastic next week. Thanks for coming in, guys.
See you, everybody.
Deuces.